Please unmute your.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Alumni Champions Talk on this wonderful Saturday afternoon. My name is Miss Pranjali Hate,
And I'm Ms. Dia Rathod.
and we will be your hosts for today.
In this live event, we'll be talking about the big trends we need to keep our eyes on that could directly impact our career. It is indeed my great pleasure to welcome among us the alumnus of this institution. Not only is it a moment of happiness and nostalgia for us, but also an opportunity to reflect on our learning and achievements.
In conversation with Dr. Digpal Singh Ranawat, Executive Director at the Abhinav Bindra Sports Medicine and Research Institute, co-founder of an app-based physiotherapy service called ABDP's Physio at Home, and a part of the Indian shooting team Rio Olympics 2016. Sir, we extend a very warm welcome to you.
Thank you so much, Pranjali and Dia. It's my pleasure to be here. And I would like to thank, first of all, Rohan sir, Rohit sir, Rohila madam, Sudha ma'am, of thinking of me to be part of this event. And it's my pleasure to be here and share my experience. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Sir, you have an illustrious career and your achievements are stellar. It is indeed a proud moment for us at Children's Academy Group of Schools that an alumnus of the Academy is associated with India's ace shooter and first Olympic gold medalist, Mr. Abhinav Bindra. Indeed, you have proved to be the right role model for all the youngsters gathered here today. And we have so many queries arising in our minds. Firstly, we would like to know your journey after your school days. What courses did you pursue after grade 10?
So, to highlight about my journey, as you have asked about my journey from grade 10th, I would like to highlight about my school days as well, maybe, going forward in the conversation. But after 10th, as I was an athlete, a very serious athlete competing in various sports, and sport was my interest, and that's where I thought that I should pursue something which is of my interest. So after 10th, I pursued science, and in junior college, 10 plus 2, which is 12th, I did my science. And I was continuing my sporting journey where I was competing, at various levels in my junior college as well. And I was very actively part of the sporting ecosystem. And still I was confused as in what would be the right course for me, in which direction I should go ahead when it comes to learning. And during that course of my sporting career from school till 10 plus 2, when I was actively competing, I went through a lot of self-experimentation where, we used to try different training modules because there were no right coaches or you can say mentors or guide to help us out. And that's where I thought that to add value and to support my interest, I should look out for a course which aids in treating athletes, because I had my own, share of injuries during my journey. And that's where I chose physical therapy. So I did my research, and, at that time, there were very few universities who were the leaders in providing quality exposure and also hands-on training to be a physical therapist and add value. And that's where I did my bachelor's of physical therapy from Manipal University. And during my time in the university, I still continued my sporting journey because once you are a sportsman, it's a lifelong commitment. So in my university as well, I competed in various state and national level judo tournaments. Also represented my university at national level inter-university championships in track and field as well. I was a good discus and shot put thrower. And during my journey as well as an athlete, it helped me understand what an athlete goes through. And also that helped me question myself how the ecosystem is right now and how I can, as an athlete, come expert, add value once, I graduate. And during that journey as well, there were so many specialization courses which were being introduced across the globe. And in India, there were very few experts. And that gave me an opportunity to engage in various courses related to sports performance, also strength and conditioning training, science behind how the athlete trains. And I did those courses as well. And later on in my career, I further pursued a doctor of osteopathy. And then I did my MBA in healthcare as well, as I have a bigger role right now.
Thank you, sir. That was quite an inspiring journey. It is said that pursuing one's calling need not be grand. Rather, it could be a somber realization attained at some point of the journey. With a degree in physiotherapy, osteopathy, and an MBA in healthcare, you finally found your niche in sports medicine. What made you choose sports as your line of work? What courses can one pursue to be in this field?
So you see, Pranjali, and also with the audience, I would like to express that, sport is a science. It's just not about an athlete just running a particular, time frame or a distance or just doing particular exercises. It's a science where you evolve over the time period with experience. And that's where myself being an athlete, where I was on a pursuit to learn more and more about myself through the sporting journey, and it helped build my character as well over the time period, where the core values of sport like discipline, also respecting your opponents and having a never die attitude stayed with me. And that was the reason where which built, you can say, a base for me to pursue my sporting excellence and also education in sport. Talking about the limitations which were there when I was pursuing my courses or my undergrad as well, and compared to now. Now you see, for students, there are a lot of opportunities because sport is just not about coaching or about rehab. There are so many different areas which applies to various sports. So if we talk about sports science, where a sports scientist gets a chance to do scientific assessment for various sport, understand the athlete's body type, understand their sport specific requirement. It's a very interesting area which has come up very well right now in India, where students who have just who have finished their 10+2 and they have taken science as their stream, they can look at being a sports scientist. There's another interesting area where there are various courses on exercise science as well, to understand the science behind, training an athlete. There are courses, sport-specific courses in nutrition. There are courses in sports psychology as well. So now, if you talk about the Indian sporting ecosystem, it has evolved a lot in the last one decade. And you see, we have the youngest population right now in the world, and where this is the right time where our youth has a chance and an opportunity to pursue their interest or area of their interest in sport through education and add value. And also to highlight, the International Olympic Committee has come up with various, online courses which one can pursue to understand and get trained by the world leaders in particular domain or field.
There are quite a few opportunities in sports. You have been the personal medico to India's first Olympic gold medalist, Mr. Abhinav Bindra. Sir, can you describe working your experience for Mr. Bindra? What does your work entail when you mention rehabilitative needs and use of bleeding edge technologies to enhance the performance?
So Dia, just to express, my working with India's first Olympic gold medalist, I would say I was very fortunate to get that experience and work with the athlete who has achieved the highest pinnacle or milestone in his career. And his single pursuit to excellence has been the key. Where if you read his book or if you read his quotes, where he says that for an athlete or for an Olympic athlete, it's not every 4 years, it's every day. So I was very fortunate to work with him, and that's where it was very challenging for me, because working with an athlete who never expect or he is very clear about his goals on day-to-day basis, what he needs to achieve or work, and he has a very scientific approach to it, and the work never stops. So being his team Medico, it was my responsibility to make sure that I am 10 steps ahead to prepare better for his daily scientific requirement as a shooter. And also with an athlete like him, his work ethics are something which everyone should adopt and learn from, where he has always believed in constant, persistent perseverance and hard work being the keystone to his success. And that's where, if someone is talented, and his talent, what he always quotes is hard work. So that helped me as well as a professional to build those characteristics in my working ecosystem as well. And there were few incidents which I can share with you working with Mr. Bindra. So I was fortunate enough to be the team medico of the Indian shooting team in 2016. And I was one of the fortunate, you can say, human beings who got a chance to experience the biggest extravaganza on this planet Earth, which is the Olympic Games. So I was the team medico of the shooting team, and we were in Rio. And in Rio, just to share with you guys how the atmosphere is, to share about their food court. For example, their food court is one of the biggest food court, which caters around 15,000 athletes in one go. And it's open 24/7. Athletes of different countries are there. There are different cuisines for them to cater to their palate and also their needs. And it's an environment where you see athletes like Usain Bolt, Federer, who are just sitting next on the other table, having a meal. So the whole Olympic values of friendship, or respect, and being competitive in nature, you can experience there. And another important event in my life was when I was part of the opening ceremony of the Rio Olympic Games. It's priceless to be there and to experience it. And one important incident which happened was on the day of the event, where Mr. Bindra, when he shoots, he has two rifles, and there are different, you can say, accessories. And one of the important accessories for a shooter is their sight. So it's a very customized made sight, which the shooters precisely work on. And they have they practice for a long time period, and they generally shoot with that. And just getting into, we just finished the qualification round, and Mr. Bindra, qualified for the finals. And just before that, once they get into the arena, so every athlete, they give them a table and a chair and a bucket where you can keep all your stuffs, because you can't take it into the arena. So before the qualification itself, Mr. Bindra opened his case, kept the rifle on the table, and he put the sight on as well. It was very unfortunate that he sat on that table, because that's was the only sitting possibility, and the table broke. And his only sight, which he has worked really hard, it broke. And an athlete who has been working day in, day out to repeat the history and to compete at the highest level, where you get this one opportunity in 4 years, and just going into your you can say exam or competition, one of your important elements fail. So he had no other option. He had one backup sight with which he has not practiced, and he went into the competition, and he was the 4th best in the world during the 2016 games. And that too, he missed a medal by a whisker, because he lost on a shoot off. And this is what speaks volume about the pursuit and the never say die attitude an athlete has over his journey.
Thank you, sir. That must have been an enriching experience.
No, it is. And still, I'm fortunate to continue working with him to work on various areas and elements to add value to the Indian ecosystem.
Yes, sir. Now, sir, can you tell us something more about the Abhinav Bindra targeting performance and the app that you have co-founded? All the sports enthusiasts at Children's Academy would want to know how they can be associated with the ABTP.
So the whole idea behind the Abhinav Bindra targeting performance came, just after 2016 Rio Olympic Games when Mr. Bindra retired. And, with his experience of 22 years going to the best of best facilities across the globe, he could feel the need of a scientific approach to medical rehab as well, and also sports performance for the athletes. So keeping that in mind, this first center of Abhinav Bindra targeting performance was set up in Mohali, where we got the best advanced technology adopted across the globe and brought it under one umbrella, where our athletes now get a scientific evaluation which was not possible under one roof, where there was a big gap when it comes to more objective assessment with numbers in place, where you can quantify or measure the progress of an athlete, which is now possible in Abhinav Bindra targeting performance centers. And if I talk about Abhinav Bindra targeting performance centers, in last 5 years, we have been fortunate to set up 12 such centers across the country, where close to around 15,000 athletes have been benefited by the center. We work closely with grassroots level athletes, youth athletes, elite athletes as well. Various state governments, also various agencies, private academies have adopted our model. And it has been, you can say, a benchmark for the whole ecosystem. And if I talk about the Abhinav Bindra targeting performance physio at home app, so the whole idea behind app came in. So if we talk about physical therapy now, because of the changing nature of the day-to-day activities with everyone having their cell phones on, and your neck is always forward and your posture is compromised. So people have so many aches and pains, but they don't know where to go. And second of all, people who go through surgical interventions. So, for example, if someone has ligament tear or someone has gone through any form of injury, physiotherapy quality rehab plays a very important role in their recovery. So, keeping that in mind, our goal was to provide global best practices at an affordable costing over the app-based solution, where for an individual who has any form of aches and pains, and for a sportsman who's looking for excellent service, which is data-driven and scientific, they can easily opt for it. So on the app-based solution, we have around 600 odd experts, physical therapists on board, and we have our services available in 28 different cities across the country. And one more thing I would like to express about our Abhinav Bindra Targeting Performance Center is our center adopts the concept of STEAM, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Analytics, and Medicine. So if you look at any sporting ecosystem, as I said, sport is science. So you should have a scientific intervention, which is again engineered through technology, where we are able to do scientific analysis of every weight shift an athlete has. And also we are able to have a sports medicine ecosystem, where if an athlete gets an injury, he can be mentored or he can be rehabbed well. So in Abhinav Bindra Targeting Performance Centers, we have set up various labs. We have state-of-art labs when it comes to postural assessment for the athlete, functional assessment for the athletes to measure their strength, their flexibility, endurance, agility, mobility, do VO2 max testing, which is a very specialized lab, which is a physiology lab. Then we have gait lab or running lab. When an athlete is running, running is just not about how you run on the ground or on the treadmill. Running is about how much weight you put on either sides when you run. What is the impact of if you put more weight on one side, on your ankle joint, knee joint, hip joint? When you are running, how much is your step length? Is it similar or is it different? So there are so many key elements which were missing till now. And this is the beauty about, having analysis with scientific approach, which we have adopted in our Abhinav Bindra Targeting Performance Centers.
So I'm sure the athletes will be able to take advantage of the hard work that you have been doing at the Abhinav Bindra Targeting Performance Center. So how do you think the youth should plan their journey towards pursuing a sport?
So my message to the youth would be that physical activity is very very important during your growth phase, because you see you guys are still maturing. Every year there are various changes in the body as well, and right now during this digital change where everyone has access to the phones, it's so easy to be distracted and neglect the emphasis on physical activity. And please try and understand, you just need to go out, meet your friends, engage in a sport, learn a sport. You don't have to go out and play for 2 hours or 3 hours. I understand you have a lot of pressure right now of competing, excelling in your education stream, but physical health, mental health is equally important. So my first message would be that sport is a field of champions. You should be ready to fail. This is one important thing which has not been taught generally in our ecosystem, where you see failure has been considered as a taboo, where everyone is scared to fail. But till the time you don't try, failure, I would say, is the biggest lesson, because you don't fail, you learn. So till the time you don't try, you won't learn. Until the time you don't learn, you won't know what's there on the other side. So that's where this is the biggest lesson from sport, which you can adopt by playing sport, where you go out. You just play recreational sport in your society, you meet your friends, you play a sport. At times you win, at times you lose, right? But when you lose, at least you learn something new, and you put a little bit more effort and try to adapt new strategies to win again. If you want to excel as an athlete, it's very important to find a mentor. A mentor can be, at school level, it can be your school teacher, it can be your sport specific coach, or it can be your role model. So once you have a mentor, you have a direction, or you have someone to go up to, and to get some guidance at an early age. As a sportsman, you have not to settle for nothing than excellence. So for an athlete, it's a constant hard work. It's a constant pursuit towards sporting excellence. And for a sportsman, with my experience, I would like to share, or with any athlete, if I talk about Abhinav Bindra, if you talk about any top athlete, they will share with you that, they have failed more than the victories they have achieved in their career. So it's very important that sport teaches you. So if you want to be a sportsman, you have to believe in yourself and keep trying to achieve whatever excellence or level you want to achieve. Sport is very unforgiving arena. So what do I mean by that is, when you go, so there are, for example, you go for your inter-school championships. There are 10, 20, 30 schools which are competing against each other. There are hundreds of athletes who are competing in an event, for which you see, out of those 100 athletes, there are only 3 athletes who get a medal, right? So you should not be disappointed. You should go enjoy your sport. You should learn from it and try again, work hard again. Another important thing I would say, during this time, at our times, yes, there was no digital media to bother us or distract us, where it was very simple, where we have to attend our classes. And I must thank the Children's Academy group of schools to always provide us with the right environment, and also encourage us to pursue sport along with the academic excellence. But during this time, for students, it's very important that sport will help you provide physical and mental well-being. And this is the best thing which you should focus on. Just not get too absorbed in sport and too absorbed in academic curriculum. So it helps you balance those things as well. Another thing is, if you want to pursue sport at the highest level, yes, the idea would be not to get injured overall, but injury is part and parcel of an athlete's journey. So be prepared. If you have an injury, don't neglect it. Any niggles also, it's great now to reach out to various experts, various doctors, and find a solution.
Thank you, sir. I hope all the students watching are taking a note of the tips Dr. Ranawat has shared. So, how do you think parents can contribute towards ensuring that the children develop holistically? How can they ensure the children develop academically, physically, and socially in tandem with their sporting career?
So, Pranjali, it's a very important question which you have asked me. In my journey till date, my parents played a very important role. So, if I talk about my journey as an athlete in the school, when I started judo, and I was focused in judo, and then I started with athletics as well. So, when I was in ninth grade, it was my own desire, where I used to wake up every morning at 4:30 a.m. without fail. And then my mother used to be up before me to make my meals, and those small important contributions were important in my whole sporting journey as well. Then I used to go for my athletic training. Then I used to come back to school. Were very supportive, where they provided us a liberty to miss our first class to practice sport. Then we used to have our classes. Then the regular school, after school I used to go for my extra classes. After extra classes in the evening, my mother used to make sure that I get my snacks. So she used to get me snacks, and then I used to go for my judo training in the evening. And I used to come back home in the night at 9:30, 10, and then do my school homework. And then, that's how my routine was. So I would say at that time, things were much simpler, and, the parents were more encouraging. Vis-a-vis right now, if I talk about the role of what parents can play, is they need to understand that playing sport is, there's nothing wrong, or the student will not go off track if he's playing sport. And during this time with digitalization, it's a must, where before, during our times, our parents used to say, oh, don't play so much, come home and study. But during your time right now, because you have your phones all the time, you sit at home and you're so engaged in the phone. Now your parents will try and push you going out. But a structured manner would be that you need to talk to your kids. You need to understand their interest. What is their interest? So what sport do they like? You need to make that effort to engage them in that particular sport, and give them the liberty to express and explore the possibilities or the level which they want to achieve. During our times, to pursue sport as a career was a very limiting option, because there were not a lot of avenues, and the sport has not developed so much. Vis-a-vis, if you see right now, there are so many leagues. We have so many youngsters from our school who are participating in various leagues and who have reached international level. Like, we have a few hockey players as well, youngsters who have been doing really well. So now, if a student wants to pursue sport as a career, there is good amount of opportunities available. For a parent, the best way to support your students or to encourage is, I would say, to create a sporting culture. So what do I mean by sporting culture? So on weekends, you see, it's so easy to take everyone to a mall and go and out for a movie in a theater. Why don't the parents go and support their kids when they are participating in inter-school competition? Why don't parents go on weekends and go out and see their kids playing any sport? So that can be small contributions which can play an important role in developing their interest, and rather than forcing something on them, we need to explore what is their natural talent, and try and provide them with the support.
Wow, sir. No wonder your mothers and your hard work has paid off. And to all the parents, please encourage children to practice sports. All we need is your encouragement. Sir, how is playing a sport important in building a student's character?
So if we talk about sport, sport teaches us to win, and at times, more than winning, it teaches us how to fail as well. And that's the most important lesson, or the biggest gift sport can give to a student. It also teaches you, how to be humble, how to accept failure, and grow through it. It teaches you the important lesson of hard work. Where you have to, if you have to achieve a particular level of excellence, it's easy, it's there. The only thing what is required is a constant pursuit to working hard, following a regime. It also teaches you, excellence, friendship, and respect. When you go out, you play a sport with your friends. you get a chance to engage with them. You get a chance to precisely challenge each other and also be friends out of the arena. Another important thing you see right now, why playing sport is important or how things have been different is for kids nowadays. On the phone, when you play a game or when you post a picture, it gives you a sense of acceptance. During our times, we have to go out, we have to go meet our friends to be accepted in a particular ecosystem or environment, make ourselves feel present there. And this is the biggest drawback right now. And during this time or this day and age, it's very, very important for the parents to encourage students to go out and play and engage in team sport, in individual sport, because that will help build their character, and character where it will help them understand the important values of life, where you have to be patient at times. You will face challenges, how to overcome challenges, also how to keep pursuing towards what you want to achieve, which generally no other activity or no other area can teach you so early and so precise.
Thank you, sir. You have chartered into a wonderful alley and achieved a lot. So, what are your plans for the future?
So with our organization, you see now technology is continuously developing from day to day, year by year. You see there are new applications in various fields as well. If you talk about education, learning has become more virtual these days, or as compared to the old school classroom model. Same way with sport. If you see last 2 years, it has been a big challenge when it comes to the pandemic, where it's just not the students, but the whole ecosystem. Everyone has to stay at home, and specifically for students, it has had a physical and a mental toll as well, where the students were not able to go out, engage with their friends, play an activity. And in this particular area, we could see that there is a demand for an app-based solution, which we are developing right now for the schools, where the students can do their physical activity at home with AI technology, where the camera will be able to detect various markers for the students, give them particular tasks, and that can become a futuristic approach to be training, along with engaging in sport as and when required. And there are a lot of areas where we are continuously working. So last year, fortunately, today is our Founders Day of the institute, which we established on the 27th November last year, which is Abhinav Bindra Sports Medicine and Research Institute. And that is one important area which I have been working on along with our trustees of our foundation, where we always believe to provide global best practices at an affordable costing. And that has been our vision and mission for our institute, where our goal has been to create quality experts in the area of healthcare and sports science and sports performance. In our institute, we provide or we offer various courses in Bachelor's of Physical Therapy, Masters of Physical Therapy in Orthopedic, Neuro, Cardiopulmonary, and sports as well. We are coming up with new courses where we are looking at developing or introducing international courses in specialization in biomechanics, in human sciences, in movement sciences, sports nutrition, and also sports psychology. And our goal has been where we have so many athletes, we have so many deserving students who cannot afford to go abroad to pursue their dreams. And in our education setup, we have created world-class labs where the students will get the same amount, or I would say even better, hands-on experience when they pass out from our institute. I would say they are job ready, where once they go out, there are a lot of opportunities and they know what to do when they're out competing with the other professionals.
Thank you, sir. Looking forward to your newer works and fields.
Thank you, Pranki. Thank you, dear.
We were in conversation with Dr. Digpal Singh Ranawat, part of the Team Medico at Rio Olympics 2016. Thank you, sir, for being here today. Indeed, your insightful thoughts have added grandeur to this episode.
Thank you, Pranjali. Thank you, Dia. And thank you, everyone, for this opportunity. And I was fortunate to see Mukundan sir today after a long time. So, he has been a mentor to all of us. So, thank you so much, sir. And thank you, everyone, for this opportunity.
I now ask Mukundan sir to speak a few words.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Hi,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Digpal. I don't know what to say when the heart is full. The words are few. I always associate with you with your father. You mentioned about your mother, but I hardly saw your mother. I used to see your father leaving you at the gate. He has been not only a father, a mentor to you as well. Uh, indirectly, I am in touch with you through Rohila. He tells everything about you, and I, being your teacher, I am very proud of you. And you mentioned about the hockey students, Suraj Karkara. He will be playing for India in the Asian Games. He is the goalkeeper. Like that, we have produced many athletes. And during your school days, you were an unobtrusive student. The hidden talent was there, but we could not visualize that. Why? Because such facilities were not provided to you at that time. That is not the case now. Everything is opened. So many arenas are there for them to work, and we have so many coaches in the school, which was not there at your time. Now, school is, can say, a well sought after school for admission, and the management, unlike any other management, and the heads work harder and harder. Sometimes my own daughter, Rishma, she sits up to 11 o'clock doing the schoolwork. So such things were not there at that time, and that is why we are one of the best schools in the suburbs. Thanks for your inputs and whatever you have said. I'm sure the people who are listening, they will follow in good spirit. Thank you very much, Dipal. May
Thank you
God
so
bless you in all your future endeavors.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mukundan sir. I now ask Sudha ma'am to share her thoughts.
Hello. Hi. As sir said, rightly put it, when the heart is full, the words are. Actually, Digpal, you brought tears to us. And really, because the way, the kind of hard work and passion, getting up at 4:30, coming for those extra athletic, whatever the coaches had told you. I'm sure you remember Roderick,
Got
sir.
it, sir. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll definitely mention it to him. Then come back for the classes, join the extra classes. I really want you to come. When you come to Mumbai, please do visit the school, and God permit that we are opening the school physically. I would really want you to talk to our children in person. I hope that this is, of course, the grade 10 students are missing this. And you've been so vocal. From your feelings, the words is, we have experienced the Rio Olympics. When you sent us the photos of you holding the flag, we were so proud of you, and we keep telling our children it's that focus. When you were in class, you would be focused. When you were on the ground, you would be equally focused. And this is what is essential. These are the inspiring words for our children. And really, Digpal, when you come, please do come and do visit us. I think Rohan sir and Rohit sir are little busy today. They're actually out for work. And that's why I'm sure they must be joining on the YouTube and watching you on the YouTube live link, but they are unable to join. But once again, God bless you abundantly. And from all of us, you're constantly in our hearts, and we pray for lots of success. May God bless you. Thank you, Digpal, for joining us.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your kind words. And for me, seeing you today, Mukundan sir, and so joining everyone, it's a priceless feeling for me. And one more thing I would like to share with the students, which is very very candid. So it's not that I've expressed about all the achievements what I've gone through, but the real thing was in school. As Mukund sir mentioned, that during our times, okay, the facilities were very limited, but during your times, you have ample amount of facilities. You have so many options and opportunities. So I was one of the students, like I'm sure with most of you guys, where you precisely get upset over those 1 marks, where you get 1 mark less, 1 mark more, and you get that joy. So I was one of those students till my 7th grade, and I was a tall guy in my class. And one fine day, it was Jay sir and Roderick sir. They came to the class. They started with this new activity of judo, and they said, "Okay, we have to pick the strong guys." So they said, "Okay, you look strong. You have big shoulders. You come tomorrow to judo." And that's how my journey started. So that was you can say a very fortunate incident which happened, where I was been picked by the sports teacher then. And I must thank Roderick sir for his ongoing endeavor to serve the children's academy ecosystem with his knowledge, with his passion, where there have been hundreds of students who have been benefited by his perseverance to provide them with all the supports, talking to the management, creating that environment, going with them to the tournaments, and these small things defines a teacher. And this is just not the thing. One more thing I would like to share with you guys. It's very easy. Yes, you guys are in this phase where we get very easily distracted. We don't listen to our teachers. But I would say the teachers who are the pillars of Children's Academy group of schools, who have been there for last a few decades. If you listen to them, if you cut out on the sound and you just express, I know you can't focus for 8 hours, but you pick one class, focus in that class, and you will have so much learning from that class, which you'll be able to realize later and apply. And this is what I even do now. There have been so many lessons, and I won't say that it's from a particular teacher. It's the lesson which they teach. It can be Hindi, Marathi, English. There are so many valuable lessons which you can learn and apply. So focus on that.
Thank you, sir.
Also, yeah, 1 minute. I just wanted to add that your app also sounds very interesting. Maybe we could, could you elaborate a little more on that, please?
Sure, ma'am. The app has been created for the general public and also for sportsmen, where you see every other individual right now, because of the occupational hazard or sitting at home, have various musculoskeletal issues like back pain, neck pain, or knee pain. They don't know where to go, and generally they go to a doctor, and they refer a physical therapist. But the standard or quality of service is not up to the mark. And what we have done is we have these 500, 600 experts across the country who have been trained by foreign experts, where we have 3 levels of you can say screening for the client. So if someone has knee pain, we have a physical therapist. They can book a physical therapist online. The physical therapist will go. He will do very scientific evaluation, understand their problem, give them remedies which they can do it at home. Then there would be another screening by another expert who will oversee. So that's where the patient care and providing them with more than what they get outside has been our objective. So anyone can reach out online, download this app, which is ABTB Physiotherapy at Home. And if you have any issues, you can reach out and try the services.
Thank you, sir.
Pranjali and Divya, Congratulations for your book. Very,
Thank you, sir.
very nice.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
the app sounds very interesting, and I'm sure when you come down to Bombay, we could sort of discuss it a little further. Yeah,
Sure, ma'am.
let's see how it can help our school children too. This
Yes, very
pandemic
true.
has really created so many issues with our children.
True.
Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I think this brings an end to a very interesting session. Thank you for being so elaborate on certain questions. You have really spoken very well and in depth, and I'm sure our children have taken a lot of insights from it. Thank you once again. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, ma'am. Thank you, everyone, for
Thank
this
you.
opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.